Hello everyone, I'm Keith Hutchings from the Comfortable Home Project, and I'm here today in Sue's Fremantle house. It's a heritage listed house with a passive solar designed renovation on the back, and I think it's going to be really interesting to look at that combination of old and new. So tell me, Sue, tell us a little bit about this house.
This house I've been in for 22 years. I've loved living in it. It's very cool, thick limestone walls, high ceilings, wooden floors. We did a new renovation of this about 12 years ago. It's right where we are sitting now. And I designed that with my brother, or he designed it with me, trying to keep my nose out of it, but not doing that very well. We decided to use the weatherboard look as a link to the limestone that linked in with the whole idea of the sleep out that used to be built on around the verandas of these old houses. We wanted it to be light, we wanted it to have the height that was similar to the front part of the house.
So is the front of the house a heritage house?
It is, okay. Yeah. It was built in 1896.
Right.
And yeah, it is on the heritage list with the council.
And the decision to make the renovation as a passive solar?
I think now it's just common sense. Luckily we face north at the back here. We could make such great use of the sun, and it just seems crazy not to do that as best as is possible.
We've been joined by Juno, the famous dog, who insists on being scratched through the shot at no additional cost. Juno will be included in this video. So if you hear any strange noises in the background, that's Juno, not me. So what's it like in the house on a hot summer afternoon?
It is beautiful, yep. The front of the house is incredibly cool, and you can probably feel that even now. I know I can feel it on my back, and there's a really obvious difference when you step out of this space into that old part of the house. But even here, we've got the louvers up high at the back and on this side, and generally, unless we get a week of over 40 degrees every day when everything just heats up, there's airflow. We use the fans, and it's beautiful.
And so then the opposite, what's it like on a cold winter's morning?
The eaves out the back allow the winter sun in. Because of the light and the sunshine, it's beautiful.
So these are your deeper eaves, and do they succeed in keeping the sun out of the house in the summer?
Yeah, they do. They do really well, and then they let the sunshine in the winter. So. And
these are your deciduous trees, and what are they?
They're Robinia freesias, and they've got a beautiful lime green leaf, and so this whole area is shaded by a beautiful sort of this limey green screen, and it's just lovely.
And you've got the kindergarten in the background as a audio feature of the house.
Absolutely, yeah, the dulcet tones of happy
children. Yeah, it doesn't get better than that. Yeah. Why didn't you get a regular one? I mean, this house is quite different from the kind of standard house that you see in House Beautiful magazine. Yeah. What were you looking for in?
We had been looking in Fremantle for a long time for a family home. I saw an ad. I was pregnant at the time, nearly about to have the baby, and saw an ad in the paper. And we came down, stood at the top of the stairs out the front and looked at this house, and we walked down the stairs and in here, and I mean...
Yeah, the rest is history. Yeah, it was sold already.
It was sold, yeah. And the colours of the walls were the same as the house we were living in Northbridge. There were cedar blinds on the window. Like, there was quite a few similarities, and it felt quite strange, actually, and a bit fortuitous.
You were home already.
Yeah, yeah.
If you were going to do it all over again, particularly the renovation, is there anything you would do differently?
What I would do is have more fixed glass. I've got security fly wire on the doors, so I open up the front and the back, it's all locked, I feel safe and I get airflow. And I have not opened one of the windows in this room since it was built.
Right. Oh.
So it was a complete waste.
So you paid more for openable windows that you don't use because you use
and
the
I
doors.
love the light, but I would certainly think more about fixed windows, fixed glass, and where the airflow is. And the airflow that I've got works beautifully. So yeah, through the doors.
And you've got the louvers up the top.
The louvers are amazing.
Yeah.
The louvers are great for the airflow, letting out the heat. But the other thing that surprised me was it is amazing to be able to see that much more sky.
You're right in the middle of Fremantle. Do you see much in the way of stars out there, or?
Yeah. On really clear nights, absolutely. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. So are there any features in this house that, aside from the louvers, that you particularly love? Aspects of it?
I love the floors. They were all recycled wood. The jarrah in here and then Wandoo through the sort of surrounding new part, and that drove the sander absolutely crazy because it was so hard, and he asked me never to call him again to come back and do anything to that wood. But I love the wood on the floors.
Yeah. Can we go have a little look around at some of your favorite bits?
Yeah, great.
Excellent. I really want to see a Wandoo floor. I have never seen a Wandoo floor. I've heard of them. So this is the Wandoo floor and the jarrah floor.
Yes, yeah.
And for people who are overseas, Wandoo is one of the hardest woods in the world, I think.
Yeah, it's every sander's nightmare.
And it's gorgeous. And these are your louvers.
Yeah, so that was a great position to put them in, nice and high. We can see the pine tree, and it lets this air flow from there to the others at the back.
Just getting a little bit of air.
Just a little, just to keep things moving a little bit.
Yeah, great. So let's go look at your laundry.
So yeah, the laundry is just flows on behind the kitchen. Lots of cupboards, and it's just made all of that domestic work that is a big part of life with a family very easy to get done, very fluid. Yeah, it's worked really well.
I love the amount of storage you have here.
And I've filled every inch of it.
Isn't that a strange coincidence?
It's amazing.
Thank you everyone for joining us. Isn't this an incredible house? A melding of the old with the heritage listed house, and then the new, open, spacious, lots of light, and the ability to get heat out of this house has really given it a modern feeling that everyone would feel at home in.